Hello and welcome back to another in-depth weather video. Today we are going to be talking about the next snowstorm and how it's going to affect the western United States, the central United States, and the northeast. It's going to be a cross-country snowstorm. It'll be bringing heavy snowfall totals to the southern Rockies, including areas that have been in major droughts. Then it's going to move into the central part of the United States, where most of the snow will occur. We already have some winter storm watches in effect. Then it's going to move into the northeast, where you could see some areas getting pretty significant snowfall totals, but overall, just a light snowfall, mostly less than 6 inches, and for the major population centers, mostly under 3 inches, but you could see a little bit more depending on how some bands set up. Now, if you like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell. Now let's get right on into it. So let's move on to the NAM 3-kilometer model. This will bring us the most detail, so we're going to use this to track the first part of the storm. So, storm system starts right in here, right in the southern Rockies, bringing some pretty heavy snowfall. Then here's that low pressure, moves out into the plains. You can see some pretty decent snowfall here in Kansas, Nebraska, parts of Missouri, Iowa getting involved now. You could also see plenty of freezing rain with this storm system. Freezing rain is still a threat with this storm system. Now we can move on into the northeast segment. You can see Ohio gets a little bit of snow, not much, as the back end is still churning out some heavy snow in Iowa, as well as parts of Illinois and Missouri. Then we get into the northeast, right? The back end's kind of weakening a little bit. We're starting to focus on this front end right here. That mostly is going to be involving Pennsylvania, New Jersey, maybe some parts of New York. Now, when we move into there we go, that eastern portion, you can see that kind of weakens off. We start to see this kind of long stretch of snow from Colorado to New Jersey. We start to see that front end wear out as this low pressure is very weak at this point. We start to see that this storm breaks apart. It's completely dismantled. And then you see that this section, it'll kind of linger here in southern New England a little bit. Now, this section in particular will be the main reason why the areas such as southern New England, parts of southeastern New York are back into the snowy side of the storm. Originally, they were excluded, having the cutoff in New Jersey and Pennsylvania, and kind of having this area. Now we have a broader area a little bit further north, just because that back end lingers in those spots. So let's go on to the European model. You can see kind of the same thing here, but it does have that back end a little bit weaker. Now we also have to talk about this next storm system, because I have a feeling we're seeing this. It used to be a snowstorm in parts of North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Now we're starting to see it move further north. And I think if this trend continues, that is the storm system for the northeast, especially southern New England, areas such as New York City, Philadelphia, DC, Baltimore. Boston, you'll probably be on the northern end of the storm. I think that just like this here, right? You have the low pressure moving north, then it moves to the east. This is a very winter storm gale-like storm. So I think that this area right here, start getting prepared for something the end of next week into the weekend next week. So that seems like the big storm to watch, especially in the northeast. But this storm is very significant for parts of the northern plains, the Great Lakes. That's where this storm is really going to be targeting. Now, if we look at, let's actually go back to here and go into some snow totals. So let's do that for just the two more accurate models. These are the accurate models, by the way. The NAM is a short-range model that brings more accurate results. So let's go through here, right there. So the NAM 3-kilometer model is already putting 12 plus inches of snow from Kansas to Illinois, and a larger area of 6 to 12 inches from Kansas and Nebraska into Indiana and Michigan. This is before the back half of the system and the eastern part of the system, the front end, gets through. Now, the NAM 12-kilometer model here has even more, possibly 24 inches plus in areas such as Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas. Probably not Kansas, more Iowa, Nebraska, but it's still possible, especially if the back end lingers. You usually get a little bit of banding on the back end. So if you're in this maroon area, definitely be prepared for up to 30 inches of snowfall. Now, in the eastern part of the storm system, you can see that you're getting this sharp cutoff in areas like eastern New York, western Massachusetts, and western Connecticut. I think that that's going to smooth out a little bit, kind of. You can see how it's almost vertical. I think that's going to kind of move more toward a 45-degree angle of that cutoff. As this storm system moves around, you get those northwesterly winds, and that's what really is going to drive that back half. So we know how the storm is going to dump snow from the southern Rockies into the plains. You can see the outline of that snowfall and how that is gonna happen. Now let's go to the European model just to check in on, let's go back here to check in on this next snowstorm here. Let's go to some snow depth. You'll actually see both of these systems. You can see that some of the snow from this next snowstorm is going to be occurring earlier this week, or earlier next week, will be really melting away at the time of late next week. But we start to see that we are probably going to see, yeah, right there. Maybe not a significant snowstorm in terms of it lasting very long, because I think after the snowstorm we're going to be seeing a little bit of a warm-up. But if that trend continues further north, this whole area could be majorly affected. But that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.